So this time I want to try the coffee whipped recipe that we've made in the past. 2 ingredients, well, 3 ingredients. Classic coffee crystals, so instant coffee crystals. But this time, instead of the sugar, we're gonna test out monk fruit sweetener and see if it really is completely interchangeable. In another recipe, a friend of mine's recipe, she put the monk fruit sweetener and made a chocolate syrup to make chocolate milk. And then in that video, she talked about how that the monk fruit actually crystallized again in the recipe so that she would have to heat the syrup up. So that's what we're looking for, is that crystallization to come back and hopefully make our coffee whip exactly what it needs to be, and then transfer that into meringues, those coffee meringues. If this works, then our coffee whip will be 0 points, and that's what we're looking for. Just as before, we're going to take out a little insurance and put little ice packs around the edge of the bowl to help it stay nice and cold. Those are the ice packs I use for the migraine. We use 1/3 of a cup of instant coffee. I'm going to use 1 cup of monk fruit sweetener. This is a 0-calorie sweetener. I actually really like it. It doesn't have any funny aftertaste, and it said it can be used 1-for-1 like sugar. So let's see how this does in this recipe. I'm going to use 1 cup of the monk fruit sweetener. I ordered this one on Amazon. They also have a brown sugar substitute, which is a golden color. And then 150 milliliters of ice cold water. The mixer is starting to struggle a little bit, so I know it's done. Well, it works. It whips up beautifully. The fluff is now in stiff peaks. The stiff peaks have formed. They hold their shape. The spoons can even be turned upside down, and this is what we're looking for. So I have my parchment lined baking sheet. Now that we know it can whip up, we want to see if it can be baked as a meringue. So just as before, I'm going to use the parchment lined baking sheet and scoop a few of the meringues onto it. Cook them in a 250-degree oven just until they're dry. That's what you typically do with the regular meringues. So bad news with the monk fruit sweetener. It makes great fluff, but as you can see, these have been in the oven. The color has changed quite a bit from when we just had the sugar, and we have no solid pieces. Total waste. We still have our bowl full of fluff, coffee fluff, that we can use as on top of a brownie, or as the dessert with the pizzelle cookies, which is what I'm going to do. It does well in the freezer, and we've reduced the calories and the points. So hope you enjoyed that. Now we know we cannot bake the monk fruit sweetener quite the same way. Here is the original just after it's fluffed, and that's the one that we tried to bake as meringues like I did before. So no luck on baking the monk fruit sweetener as meringues. Maybe a structural thing, maybe a chemical thing with the monk fruit. It just doesn't work quite the way sugar does. Thanks so much for watching.